Today, we are joined by Frederic Kingue-Johnson, the General Manager and Vice President of MES South and LATAM at Contentsquare. Frederic, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hello, Sarah. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me.
So, Frederic, tell us a little bit more about yourself. You've obviously had an incredibly impressive career at Contentsquare, which is a extremely well-known French unicorn. Tell us more about that.
So, first of all, it's truly a pleasure to be here today to be able to share some insight and feedback of this incredible journey. So, I'm really, pretty happy. So, I'm Frederic, 40, married, father of one, and currently serving as a general manager South EMEA at Contentsquare, as you explained. Actually, I spent the last 16 years immersed in the world of sales leadership and the B2B landscape from my early days as a sales rep and then leading EMEA sales team. So I've been fortunate to witness and contribute to some incredible growth stories, including Contentsquare, as you say, which is an amazing French unicorn. And beyond this corporate job, I also find great satisfaction in contributing to startup ecosystem, especially in France, as board advisor or investor of promising French startups. So I like that because it's a way to give back, but at the same time to learn from different people, teams, business model, etc.
Yeah, no, it's incredible. And it's really interesting looking at all of the different experiences that you've had over time. So for you, especially when thinking about like the growth that you've experienced in some of your jobs, what was that like starting from something that was smaller to something that's grown to be so large? Again, thinking about something like Contentsquare.
Yes, my journey at Contentsquare has been quite a ride. I've experienced many challenges, but also triumphs that come with scaling sales operations. Story at Contentsquare started in 2014 when I joined as an employee number 21st. So that
Oh,
was a
wow.
different world.
Yeah.
Going from a small startup to a unicorn, it was quite a roller coaster, trust me.
Yeah. Because today,
Uh,
how many people are you at Contentsquare?
1,800 people,
Wow. Okay. And you
9 years.
started at 21. Wow. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Such a cool story.
So the goal for me was to be able to scale the French team and the French business because we started in France over
Mm,
there, and then to take the management of a new region called Western Europe region. It was including France as the flagship, but also some other countries. And that was
mm,
amazing. I found immense joy in fortifying, these activities, not only with sales team, but also with all the
yeah.
supported teams like pre-sales, solution consultant, SDR, ADR, sales up, legal, marketing, etc. So
Wow.
yeah, amazing journey so far. Very intense, very
I
demanding
bet.
for sure. Today we've been able to create a platform that has become a corner store for a lot of businesses to unlock their potential online digital optimization
Mm,
after 10 years of work and working in different industries also because at the beginning we started on the retail and the e-commerce activities and now we have clients in all type of sectors. Could be telco, energy, bank, insurance, so any type of companies.
very cool. And obviously, too, with all this experience, you've done a lot of stakeholder management with those at the C level. And that's really what we're here to talk about today. The more I talk with different people, B2B sellers, they tell me, Sarah, the C level are getting more and more involved in our deals than ever before, especially given the current economic situation. So, if we imagine, let's say, an AE who's just starting their relationship with a client, how have you found effective ways to initiate and to build those relationships with those at the C level?
That's a good question and not an easy answer because, of course, we can say that there is a playbook, but it's always a question about adaptability also. So I think this word is key. You need to adapt yourself to who you speak to.
Mm,
That's very important when you are talking to C level. Also, you have to be yourself. You don't have to lie. I remember when I was a sales rep at the beginning, I was scared actually to talk to C-level because
mm,
I'm like, okay, these guys, they know much more than me. They have big job, big titles. So how do you speak to the guys? Yeah, equal to equal.
yeah,
So you have to adapt and be yourself. You don't have to lie, but at the same time to try to find an angle to speak their language. This C-suite doesn't have time for techno blah blah. So cut through the noise, get straight
Mm,
to the point, highlight tangible business outcomes, put that on the table, and worked on ROI, revenue impact, efficiency gains, to be able to create a storytelling that
mm,
is not only for my daughter of 7 years, but also to be able to resonate to this executive suite.
mm.
So if I try to sum up a bit and not say, let's say, basic insights, I found crucial to work a lot before you talk to these people.
Mm,
So it's about research beforehand. Research about the company. Maybe we're going to talk about this a bit later. But not only the company, but the people, individual goals of these key decision makers. To
okay.
try to leverage, the personal approach, how curious you can be, and to be able to pitch not a product, but more their goals, their needs, their challenges, and to match that with what you can offer.
Mm,
Um, yeah, I'm just thinking about one example actually,
yeah.
just to give one example that will be maybe a bit more concrete. I have actually we have a client. We are working with this person. It's a girl, it's a woman, and there is a big M&A and merge context. We are trying to sell them the product, okay, the solution we are offering, but at the same time, we've detected that there are a lot of political aspects right
Mm,
now with the context of the M&A and the merge,
okay.
and actually we can help this person to shine a bit better and to have a specific position in this new organization, because when there is a merge and
Yeah,
M&A in a big company, you can imagine that there will be some impacts and reorganization.
absolutely.
Actually, leveraging the product, leveraging the solution will help this person to find a better position in the company. So sometimes it's not only about the value you can generate in terms of ROI, it's also about really personal aspect when you are
Mm,
talking with the C-level people.
yeah, and if I understand too correctly, it's about understanding the C-level stakeholder who's in front of you and the context that they're in today and approaching them accordingly.
Exactly. And one other word I think that is key is the word challenge. You have to
Mm,
challenge them during all the sales process. They appreciate it. They like partners that are not there just to say, yes, I agree, you're amazing, but actually to be able to navigate and find some insight and really even feedback you can give to them.
yeah. No, it's a good point, and, it's related really to my next question, which is about challenging because, you mentioned earlier that when we speak to somebody at the C level, sometimes we can be a little bit intimidated, right? And then when we're challenging and try to successfully navigate and address these sort of objections that C levels can raise, how do you recommend people actually going about doing that in a way that's productive?
Not easy because there can be a different type of objections, but I
Mm,
think one key topic is to try to be a problem solver and not a product pusher.
okay.
Um, we always have this tendency, if I may say, to try to push the product, to push the solution, and to focus too much on the product.
Mm,
But if once again you understand really what they want to achieve, so it could be a mix of personal goals and it could be also a mix of the company challenges. Well, you can create this nice storytelling. So your solution, your service, your what you provide needs really to address this big problem they have.
mm,
And sometimes, once again, I will take another example, talking about Contentsquare example. You can use, when I say no product pusher, sometimes the product can be useful. Let's say
mm,
that, for example, the Contentsquare case, we have a product that is pretty easy to explain and to show. We are not selling a big, CDP, very complex, etc. So sometimes to make a nice and relevant demo in front of a C-level could be very impactful because they will understand, they
mm.
will like it, and it will resonate. They will say, okay, if I understand, me as a big manager, my team will understand better. So yes,
Yeah.
you need to talk to my team because this makes sense. So you need at the same time to find the problem, solve it, but at
Mm.
the same time use the product in the right way.
If I'm understanding correctly, what you're saying is, right, we need to be focused on solving the actual problem at hand, right? So like when dealing with an objection, understanding really like what is the overall problem that our prospect or our client is potentially facing? Where does that objection fit within that? And then how do I weave in my product and its value added, right, to help push that conversation forward rather than just going in and pushing the product nonstop to somebody who's at the C-level?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And a way to that also is something that sometimes, let's say, sales rep they forget, is to listen actively.
Mm,
So the bad reputation of the sales is that sometimes they speak too much and they listen to
mm,
themselves, and it's actually true. I faced that many times. So
mm,
you have to listen actively and ask open question. And when you have this type of discussion and conversation with C-level, they will give you a lot of insight and information that then you can reuse to be able to create this solution facing their problems.
mm,
So you need really to create this genuine relationship with
mm.
the stakeholders to be able to then create the story. So relationship matters a lot
Yeah.
when you are talking with the C-suite. You need to find some champion and trusted advisor internally, and this is very very important. And you cannot create this relationship if you don't listen actively and if
Mm.
you don't have open question. If you're only pushing your product, it will never happen.
Yeah. And so for our listeners maybe who don't know what active listening is, or maybe who know what it is or and don't really know how they can start doing that today, how can they start practicing active listening? What are some little tips you could give to salespeople, especially if they're having a hard time? I'm thinking of salespeople who are receiving Slack messages, LinkedIn messages, right? Maybe that's distracting them when they're in a meeting. How can people actively listen better?
So maybe sometimes it's just good to shut down your laptop, shut down
Mm,
your phone, um, even not take a paper, only
mm,
if you really need to take some really notes and be in the moment. I mean, maybe that's really basic recommendation, but you just need to say, okay, where I am, in which room, which with what type of people, what they are looking for, and to be in the moment. Because a lot of time, the sales rep, they are once again trying to think about the pitch, trying to think about their solution, trying to think about the next slide and the next feature they're going to show to try to create an impact, and not really listening. So this active listening is about this, really thinking about the moment, and once again asking open question and
mm,
not closed question. You need to let the stakeholders and the C level talk,
mm.
and for you to be able to navigate to their answers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's clear that communication is super important, right? Throughout the relationship building with somebody at the C-level. And so considering that, what are some effective communication and reporting strategies that you think sales professionals can use to keep C-level stakeholders informed and engaged throughout their entire sales process?
Same. That's not easy because I think today with this specific topic and category about C-level, it's about relationship.
Mm,
It's about human interaction. So what I do think and what we try to do with my teams is to focus on this. So the network and the human interaction. So we've been able to create some specific moment to have some relationship and moments and
mm,
discussion conversation with this C-suite. So it's not in a big trade show, then you will have a nice
yeah.
moment even if you go to the VIP area, grabbing a coffee. So you need to create some specific moment. Could be a kind of VIP dinner when you are
Okay.
10 people on the table, mixing also some other clients, people from the industry,
Mm,
providing them insightful information about the topic that they like. I was this morning, for example, with a call with someone I won't mention in an industry, a prospect client, and actually he has some doubts about some strategy, etc. I say, okay, do you know this guy at McKinsey? I mean, if you want, I can introduce him to him,
mm,
and you can chat. And it's not professional. There won't be a contract between them. They will
mm,
just chat offline. So using the network, using this nice moment, help a lot. So we try to at Contentsquare, at least, we try to um, structure this approach by some reference calls
mm,
also, also from clients to be able to talk openly about how is it working with Contentsquare? How is it to deploy the solution? How is it in terms of value generated? And to be able to share that with some other clients that are not clients, with prospects, actually. So we need to create, and you need to think about this and to try to create the good environment for the people to meet themselves and talk. I mean, the
Yeah.
best I can see is not the sales to talk directly to the prospect, but for my prospect to be close to someone else that is a client that will say a lot of good things about the solution, the team, and the partnership.
Yeah.
So I truly believe that this network, once again, and human interactions are really key when you are talking with this type of people. But it's complex to organize and to structure a sales approach with this.
You have to go beyond just the sales process and actually build that intimate relationship with them. And 100% I agree with what you said about inviting them into your network, into your group, and just being useful. And sometimes I think going beyond seeing your client just as a client, but seeing them as a partner, right? And together you're working to solve one of their problems.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. They need to see you as a partner, and they need to see you as someone that will challenge them.
Yeah.
Once again, challenging is not a bad word. If you are only there to talk about your solution and just be nice and go through your policeman, policewoman's list of questions, this is not a discovering. This is not
Yeah.
qualification, and these are not active listening and open question.
Mm.
This is really basic sales job.
Yeah. 100%. Well, Frederic, thank you so much. Thank you for all your insights. But before we leave, there's one more question I want to ask you. We like to ask all of our visitors. So, what is the must have for you to put in your digital sales room?
Well, I'm thinking about also Topo for sure.
Yeah.
Why we're here, and I believe because we are talking about a world that is today, let's say 2024, soon. But this world is changing a lot thanks to AI. So it's not an idea. It's not. It's true. It's happening right now. So I really do believe that AI tool will help us to change a lot the way we are working on the sales part. That AI, driven um, solution will help to gather information to be able to address this C-level executive the right way, thanks to AI algorithm, analyzing massive data sets of information, maybe also planning with some role play simulation for the sales rep to be able to train themselves, and also I think
Mm.
to be able to optimize the communication we have with C-level suite,
Yep.
because today it's pretty old-fashioned, I would say. So we have a CRM. So the CRM is key, and you need to have a strong CRM, but it's complex because the CRM needs to be right, fulfilled by the sales rep. Sales up needs to manage it correctly. It needs to be interconnected with other solution, and also, let's say, the sales playbook you have. For example, at Contentsquare, we are using Medic. So how you use Medic, applying CRM the right way, and in the Medic, you need to address the champion, the executive sponsor, the decision maker, economic buyer, etc. So it needs to be part of it. So
Mm.
for me, big of this Medic in the CRM and in the process of the company
Mm.
is definitely key in the digital sales room. But what is missing, I think, and this is why Topo brings a lot of value, is how you can create something for all the people working on the deal, and also directly with the client, with the prospect, to communicate easily in a smooth way and to share relevant information. Today,
Mm.
to be able to share information to a C-level, how do you do? As I say, you have a nice dinner, lunch, a specific event, etc., etc. But then what do? You send a deck, you send some slides, you
Yeah.
create a one pager highlighting the ROI, etc. Yes, we do that. Is it the best way? Can we optimize this? I think we can do.
Mm. Yep, 100%. Well, look, we all at Topo completely agree with you. Thanks again, Frederic, for taking the time, for sharing all of your insights. I think it's been an incredibly interesting and fruitful discussion, and we'll stay in touch.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.